What's up, guys? Welcome back to JE Music, and today we're going to be going over, we're going to be re-ranking Insubordinate Brian's albums for the second time this year. And yeah, he's deleted some stuff, and he's made some new stuff, so this ranking is different than the last. And yeah, so we're just going to get into it, and we're going to go from worst to best, pretty much. So yeah, at bottom place we have I'm D. I don't actually know how many albums he has, so I'm kind of just flicking it in order right now. But yeah, I'm D's is his worst album because it wasn't meant to be serious, and it's not anything super serious or something you can take seriously. It's just something you listen to for, I don't know, like it's a joke album, and it's a meme album, and like it's not even up anymore. It's not terrible, but it is for like what he was going for. It's a bad album, but he wanted a bad album, so like as a joke, I guess. So he succeeded in that aspects. It's just kind of like Warballs. It's like a joke album, but just a bit funnier. Just as funny, I guess. I just love the names of the songs, though. I just love it. So I'm just gonna give this. Well, I'm just gonna give this album a 4 out of 10. But for what it did, I guess for what he wanted, it's a 10 out of 10 because it's a funny ass album. So yeah, I'm gonna give this like a 4 out of 10. Alright, so we're at 20th place now. At 20th place, we have Jokerface. This album's not up on Spotify anymore, but it's still up on YouTube, so I'm going to count it. It's a fun album. It's really entertaining. It's not a great album, but it's a meme album, so it's not supposed to be the best album in the world. But yeah, it's still a decent album. 5 out of 10 for Jokerface. And then at number 19, we have Warballs. Warballs is just another meme album. It's pretty entertaining to listen to, just because it's funny, and I know all the inside jokes because it's a collaborative album with me, and a lot of inside jokes in there. So yeah, that's a 6 out of 10. And then at number 18 we have Tryhard. This album also a 6 out of 10. It's his first album, so you know, of course, you're not going to expect the best album, but it's decent for a first album. You know, it's not the best, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good for a first album. And then at number 17 we have The Other World. This is actually quite a better than I remembered by my second listening when I listened to it again just before, but it's also not as good as I originally thought it was good. Like, I used to think it was his best album at one point. It's not. It's a 6 out of 10. He's made so much better. And then at number 16 we have Broken/Blinded, another like old album which I still think he hasn't really paved the way for yet. So that's still like a 6 out of 10 album. Still hasn't reached his peak of music yet. It's still not a bad album, but you know, he hasn't reached his good stage yet, or his really good stage yet. And at number 15 we have Serpentine. I actually really enjoy this album. It's like a 7 out of 10. I just really enjoy it. I don't know, it's weird because this album's kind of weird to listen to because it's part of like he uploaded it, but for some reason it went through like a random account when he uploaded it, so it's kind of like every time you listen to it you have to like search up the album, so just going to his artist page, and just it's kind of weird to listen to it, and it's not on YouTube or anything, so yeah, I don't listen to it much, but I did skim through it before and all that, listen to a few things and that, and it's actually pretty good. And yeah, okay, and then at number 14 we have let's try to pronounce this. Actually, it was like Judaeus Isocrate or Judaeus Isocrat. I'm just gonna hope I pronounced that right, but yeah, really great album. Disc 1, it's called Disc 1, but there's never another disc that was made, so yeah, I'm just gonna call it Judaeus Isocrat. But yeah, 8 out of 10 album. Really enjoyable. This is kind of when he found his way, I reckon. Like, this is one of his first like proper like really good albums. I really enjoy it. And yeah, it's just a good album. At number 13 we have this album. I don't really know the name of it. It's kind of just got two like love hearts and like a little thing in between it. It's down this low because really it's not a super long album, it's not his greatest album, but it's also still a great album. It's just, I don't know, I feel like this album was not for me. I think he made this for his girlfriend's birthday, of course, I think anyway, but, so of course, you know, I'm not gonna love it. Like, I think he dedicated this album to her, which is really cool, but like, I didn't really, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, it's a good album, but it's not like nostalgic. It doesn't have anything super crazy about it, but it's still an 8 out of 10 album. So yeah, that's why it's down so low for such a new album. And then at number 12, we have Finger Flippers. This is a collaborative album with me. This is just such an enjoyable album. It's not like the greatest rap album of all time, especially not the greatest that we could make. But it's funny, it's enjoyable, and it has some great beats from both me and him. This is the first time I've really been proud of my mixing and my beats. So yeah, that's it. And that's a 8 out of 10 as well. And then next we have, let me try to pronounce this. Trimfly Perline? I don't know. This is his newest album, but this is the offline mix. So this is just on YouTube. He has a second half of it, and in the description it's called the offline mix. It's got like covers, bonus tracks with samples you're not allowed to use, kind of like copyrighted. So it's like a pretty cool little thing. It's an 8 out of 10, you know. There's not much to say about it. It's just kind of like bonus tracks and mixes and all that, but I really enjoyed it, and it just makes the album better. When you listen to it with that, it adds entertainment value to it. So yeah, sorry if it looks like I'm reading off a script. I just have he's got so much albums, I have my big ranking list up here, so I'm just looking, at it. And then at number 10 we have Web Reborn. I'm surprised he still has this one up. I don't know why, I thought he deleted it, but he actually kept it up, so that's pretty cool. I really enjoy this album. This is one of his first really good albums as well, and it still holds up today, even better than some of his new albums. So it's really good. Well, some of meaning, Finger Flippers and, that other one. But yeah, really great album. 8 out of 10. So if it seems like I'm getting a lot of 8 out of 10, it's just great. They're all just great. Great out of 10. And then at number 9 we have JKE, Jude Kim Edwards. Was it Thursday Afternoons? Yeah. Still a great album, not as good as I remembered, because ages ago I listened to basically his whole discography while I was just running around and stuff. And it was, it's not as good as I remember, but it's still really great. So it's like an 8 out of 10. It used to be like a 9 out of 10 album. It used to be like my second favorite or something, or third favorite, but it's not that good. It's not like it's not good. It's just not as good as I remember. It's still a really great album. So I'm not going super in depth here. I'm kind of, I don't know, if I was doing an album ranking on each one of these videos, I just don't want to make this too long. If I was doing a ranking on a specific album, I would go fully in depth. But yeah, I'm just going to be completely honest. I really enjoyed it. I like the instrumentals. I like the beats. I mean, the same thing, but I just like the way this is mixed. I love the way it sounds. I think this is his first album which kind of gave him a sound which he would kind of continue to use here and there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he agrees with that or anybody agrees with that, but yeah. So yeah. And then at number 8 we have Pixie Dust. Pixie Dust, yeah, it's Pixie Dust. Yeah, great album. I really enjoyed this one. This is a newer one. This is one of the albums where it's so great, but I always forget he made this. This is just kind of hides in his discography for me. I remember all his other albums, but this is just, I don't know why I always forget he made this, and then I go to listen to it again. I'm like, why did I forget he made this? This is one of his best albums. I love the mixing. I love the way it flows. The way it flows. I like the album cover. It's not an album cover that will push me away from it. It's one that would drag me in. So I don't know why I don't listen to this that much, and why I keep forgetting it's there. But it's just a great album. It's an 8 out of 10, and I really enjoy it. At number 7 we have If I Said I Was Okay, Would You Believe Me? Also love this album, love the cover. I love how he sampled some of my drumming, which I hated, but I ended up using it anyway. But that I kind of should have just left it to this album, because he used good use of my drumming. That song 10 that I made in my Deep Line mixtape was just this without the other part, and it just sucked. It's one of my worst songs. But he made that sound good, and I just love all these songs in here. I love the way it flows together. It's a pretty long album, but it's a pretty entertaining album. And it's just great. It's got some great mixing, some great... Yeah. So then at number 6 now, we got the Kev Strikes Back soundtrack. The reason this is up so high is because, for a few reasons, it means a lot to me, and it'll probably mean a lot to him as well, but because it's a lot of our best tracks at the times into the final film of a kind of fragment of our teenage/childhood of creating this movie trilogy, which isn't like a super serious movie, but it's kind of a meaningful series of movies. And a lot of these songs we finally got to use songs which weren't just rap songs, and they kind of actually made the movie more enjoyable. And it was a great way to end off the series by using some of our best tracks which were out at the time. If I could go back, I probably would have used other tracks, but maybe not, because these tracks on this album from him and me still hold up, and I love the tracks that he made for this album, so it's up this high for me. And then at number 5, we got, I still can't pronounce this. This is his newest album, so let's just say this is his newest album. It's the one, not the offline mix, just the album itself, which is on Spotify and all that. This is a 9 out of 10. I'm going to say it straight up. This was really enjoyable. Way better than I was expecting. It's not like I was expecting it to be bad, but it exceeded my expectations. Really enjoyable. I keep saying enjoyable, I need to say other word, but it's just like really real entertaining time for an album, because it's high. I don't listen to entire albums much for the specific reason of a lot of albums can't keep my attention for all that time. So I kind of, when I listen to an album, instead of just sitting there listening, I have to kind of go through it for a while. But with this album, I listened to it in one go, and I was like, cool, it's over. Whoa, I was expecting more songs. Kind of like, that doesn't happen much, so it just really impressed me. But yeah, I just love that album. And then at number 4, we have LSD. I didn't think this would hold up this much, but it did. Not too much to say about this, because this is another one like Pixie Dust, where I kind of know what it is, but it kind of just, it's not like I forget the album, but I just forget how good it is. It kind of just hides in its discography for me. But, now that I like this, I'm probably going to add some of these songs to my playlist, like it's that good. Really enjoy it. At number 3, surprisingly, we have Raindrops in the Served Garden, I assume it's called, yeah. 9 out of 10 as well. This album, I was surprised this actually made it this high, because I was like, I really liked it last time, but I was like, it went up. I thought it would go down, because usually with these rankings albums, I used to think were good would go down and then new ones would rise up, but this just went higher for some reason. I just really enjoy this album, and something about it, like I love the way it sounds, I love the theme of this, I love it. It's probably got some of the best mixing, because I don't know if he wants me to review what he makes music on, but for what he's making his music on, this is really impressive mixing and really impressive instrumentals. Probably some of his best. Okay, and then at number 2, we have Silver Plus Cross, Gold X Void. This is a 10 out of 10 album. I'll say it straight up, 10 out of 10 album. I really, really enjoy this album, and I really love this album. It was way better than I was surprising. I love some of the tracks. This feels like an album that, and it gives me this really cool vibe, because I listened to this album, I listened to it at my house, but I also listened to it for the second time when I was riding back home from Lennox at like 2 in the morning on my scooter, and I listened to this album again, because I was like, if I was going to do a review on it at the time, and I'm like, well, if I want to do a review, I might as well listen to it again. I was kind of just like fucking a bit out of it, I was a bit cooked, so I was just like, yeah, chuck it on. And, dude, it just took me on a fucking journey on that ride home, and by the time I finished it, I was home. It's perfect timing. I ended the album, it was like a journey. This album was literally a journey to me. And I just love that album cover. It's probably his best album from this year so far. And then at number 1, we still have In Still of the Night. This is still my favourite of his albums. For another reason, this is also, I went on another journey while listening to this. When I was riding around Ballina in the middle of the night, I went all the way to this other thing, then I came back, and I've listened to this the most times, and it's the one that's held up the most. First time I listened to it, I was just in my room with my headphones, and I just wouldn't stop listening to it, because it was a great album. Yeah, so that's my ranking of Insubordinate Brian. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope I didn't sound repetitive. I just wasn't trying to get into too depth, because I didn't want to talk about a single album for like hours. But if you guys want me to specifically talk about an album, just let me know in the comments, and I'll review just any of these. And if you're wondering why I always do Insubordinate Brian videos, I'm going to start doing other videos. It's mainly because Insubordinate Brian is my cousin / my friend, so I like to make videos, and he can see them and he can watch them and all that. And also because it's just easy to rank the artists, because I know I've heard everything. Even artists I love, I still haven't heard everything from, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Top 10 album video coming soon.